guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides, and I have a very, very special review that we're doing. You know, the channel is all about me sharing my car passion as a car enthusiast with all of you. And the great thing is that many of you find ways to share your car enthusiasm and your car passion with me. What we have is a wonderful story, and that's really the great thing about the cars. You know, we do all these different reviews on Rady's Rides, and some of the cars are just so amazing, but sometimes the story behind the car is what really makes the whole review even that much more special. Let me give you a little bit of a history lesson about the owner of this particular car. His name's Anthony. He's got a dad by the name of Michael. The two of them over the years have worked on cars together and whatnot, and really have grown that passion together. Sort of like how my father and I really worked on that passion together. Unfortunately, his father wound up finding out that he had stage 4 cancer, and they only gave him about 5 months to live. This car represents not only overcoming that whole situation just by hearing the news, but guess what? With God willing and everything, his dad is in 1-year remission and things are looking great. So what we have is this 1997 Chevrolet Corvette. This is the first year of that 5th generation. But when we talk about this car, I don't want you just to remember the facts about the car and the different stats we're going to talk about and what it looks like. I want you to remember that story, because guess what? This car represents that work between Anthony and his father that I'm telling you right now is what really kept his spirits up to help him overcome that terrible situation, and how we could all overcome situations like that and share that car passion. So let's just talk a little bit of Corvette history now that we talked about the owner's history in this. Corvette's been around since 1953, America's true sports car. That first year, if you like Corvettes, I hope you like them in white, because that's the only color you could get in them. They made 300 of them, all white with red interior. The worst part is at the end of the day, there wasn't a V8, there wasn't a manual transmission. It was a straight 6 called the Blue Flame 6, a power glide transmission. Some people were confused by that. They were like, is that really a sports car? Well, guess what? There was a gentleman by the name of Zora Arkus Duntov in 1955 that was able to get the GM executives to put a V8 in the Corvette. Now, you still had an option between the straight 6 and the V8, but guess what? After that year, it was nothing but V8s, and fast forward to 1997, nothing was more true than a V8 in a fiberglass body, lightweight, high performance, to go up against all those exotics from the European countries. So let's focus on this first year of the 5th generation. There's a total of 7. C1 goes from 1953 all the way to 62. C2 goes from 63 to 67. C3, that's going to be the longest generation. That's going to go from 68 all the way up to 82. Technically, depending on who you ask, there wasn't a 1983 Corvette. They made some prototype models, but none were actually sold at a dealership. So technically 84, which was sold in late 83, is the 4th generation. That goes all the way to 96. C5, like I said, starts in that 1997, and then it just continues all the way to the current generation, which is C7, which started in 2014. So enough with the history lesson, let's check out this car. So this car was actually attached to a palm tree at one point. Now, it wasn't Anthony's doing. Him and his father purchased that car on purpose because they wanted to take something that was probably going to just be thrown away, but they saw that there was more life in it, and this is what we have. So right off the bat, with the 5th generation, what I love about it is we start to see Corvette develop even further down the line from the C4. We still had those pop-up headlights, which were so famous for so many years that in the C7 generation, they kind of gone away, but I love it when you see those pop-up headlights, because it just adds a nice smoothness that you just don't see with today's Corvettes. You'll notice that this car is sitting much lower. Now, before you say, hey, what kind of coilovers is he running? Is he running lowering springs? This thing is actually running on stock Corvette suspension that's been as lowered as possible. So that's what is going to give it that actual ride height. Another thing that's going to help with giving it the illusion of even being lower is this beautiful carbon fiber package that starts from the front on this splitter all the way down the side skirts. But I love what Anthony did with this design, and his dad. I think this was a smart choice, because I really like most splitters would be right here at the bottom of the nose, where this one drops down. It actually has an area where it comes down and then comes out. Really think it blends in well. You can see the massive ducting that's going to help cool the brakes and whatnot. And then there's that traditional cross flag setup on the nose of the car. You go back to any Corvette, you're going to see the checkered flag and that Chevrolet bow tie flag both together, because this is, like I said, America's sports car. Just love the aggressive look of the 5th generation. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side and see what we're looking at here. Now, what's nice is, instead of going with some aftermarket wheel company, which there are many to choose from, Anthony decided, you know what? Why change something if you don't have to? These are GM Chevrolet Z06 magnesium wheels. So remember, the 5th generation is the first year of that Z06 badge that even still exists to this day. Magnesium wheel, great style, really works well with the red. You can see the Corvette script on the 4-piston caliper. You know, what I think the direction that I would like to see Anthony go in with this setup is, I like to see maybe some slotted rotors, maybe some cross-drilled rotors, maybe even get a late model Brembo setup might really work well. But you know what? At the end of this day, the car, this thing performs, because wait until we pop the hood, you're going to see some really special touches that him and his dad did. Let's continue down the side. Another part of the Corvette tradition are the side vents. Very nice shape that they were doing for the 5th generation. I love the look, and I'm going to have Tom kind of swing around and show you deep within that vent. While he's down here, you can see just how aggressive the side skirts are in this car. I'm telling you, this thing is so aerodynamic, it just cuts through the air like a hot knife through butter. Really love the style with the door handles. And that's another thing, it's just funny when you look over the car, this car doesn't look like it's from 1997. It looks much newer, and if you look at newer Corvettes, that's one thing you don't see anymore, is an actual door handle, believe it or not. But I love the overall shape of the C5. This target top can come off as we go into the back. Really nice rear hatch area, and that's what makes the Corvette so great, is that at the end of the day, you open up this back hatch area, there's tons of room back there to finish off the back of the car. Really love what Anthony did with this kick-up carbon fiber rear wing right here. Nothing too crazy, it really blends in perfect. You have the smoked out taillights as you wrap around, and I also really like the color of this lower section of the rear bumper compared to the red. It really works well, the black with the red, all the way across with the carbon fiber script inside the Corvette logo. And then out back, he's going to finish this off with a Borla exhaust, which is very popular with not only Corvette owners, but just Chevrolets. A lot of Camaros and whatnot run Borla exhaust. Let's go ahead and check out the heart of this beast of this C5 Corvette. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, we got the hood popped on Anthony's Corvette. You could see how that tradition of the clamshell style hood opening up, and there it is, the heart of this C5. So at the end of the day, his father and himself wound up taking this engine. Now the bottom end is all stock, believe it or not. It's stock LS1. And that's okay, because that's a pretty strong combination. When we work our way up, you have modified 243 heads, you have increased valves, Scorpion rocker arms, Z06 cam. So remember, I mentioned Z06. Inside the heart of this Corvette, there is some of that Z06 DNA. I'm going to have Tom focus on the front of the airbox up there. You have an SLP air filter, that wonderful airbox he's running. I really love the style of that whole SLP setup, and that's going to allow maximum flow, because remember, especially naturally aspirated engine, you want to get that maximum airflow. You can see the beautiful carbon fiber that is over the wheel well areas, even around the master cylinder. Very nice touches. Billet fuel rails, and then, like I said, you're going to have a Borla X pipe and then a Type S catback exhaust. And I think that's what the great thing is about this car, is that when you're driving in it, it sounds good, but it's nothing obnoxious, like just crazy. And it's a perfect package that you're going to have great drivability and you're going to have great performance. This thing, wait until we get inside, is mated to a very slick shifting automatic transmission that has had some work done to it to maximize those quarter mile times. Because at the end of the day, this setup with some slicks, you're looking at in the 10s. And when we look at where the C5 Corvette came from, you could tell that Anthony's hard work, his father's hard work, has definitely paid off. Let's go ahead. You know what time it is. We're gonna fire it up. All right, guys, inside Anthony's Corvette. What's really cool is that if you've been in different generations of Corvettes, you would know that C4 is one of the hardest Corvettes to get into. It's like you have to drop into it. But you'll notice that with the C5, the sills are much lower, and it is easier to get into a C5 compared to a C4. Probably the Achilles heel of the Corvette has been the interior, and slowly things were changing. You get into a new one, it's unbelievable where they came with a C5 compared to a C7. There is a lot of black, but this is what the style was at the time from 1997 to 2004, because that is the lineage of the C5 Corvette. I'm gonna have Tom kind of peek in here and show you this awesome custom screen that Anthony has in here with all of his digital real live time gauges going on here. Really, really awesome to see this kind of work. So it's not just about doing stuff underneath the hood, it's also this amazing setup with what he's running with his gauges and whatnot. And this car, with definitely plenty of power, he has the AC running and everything else. But why don't you come on over to the business end and I'll show you what's going on with the C5 Corvette. All right, guys, here we are, business end. Very, very traditional with that low slung feel inside the Corvette. You feel like you're in a Tomahawk cruise missile. I love sitting in any generation Corvette, especially something like a C5. Love the layout. You can see the layout of the gauges. Everything is all analog when it comes to the instrumentation from the factory. Plenty of info though. Oil pressure, oil temp, volts, the whole 9 yards. Very easy to read, very easy to understand. And then as we transition across, we could get another view of the gauges that Anthony has set up in this car, showing all that real-time information. I think it was smart to do that, especially in a C5 Corvette. Like I was telling you though, one of these things with these Corvettes is storage. Let's go ahead and check out the back area and see what can you put in the back of a Corvette. All right, guys, we got the back hatch open, and this is really where the Corvette earns its ability to be a daily driver if that's what you want. You could have America's true sports car be your daily driver. You could see how nice of a setup Anthony and his father did back here. This is really cool. Now, if you know anything about Corvette racing, the Corvette racing team actually has this so to speak sponsor setup with that design of that skull, and I really, really like how Anthony brought that in. That's actually Lexan that's been frosted and painted. Did an excellent job. Remember, this stuff was done by himself. He didn't take, with his father, didn't take it to some shop. He did it himself. Check out the sub over there. He did a custom fiberglass, and it kind of makes sense. Fiberglass Corvette, fiberglass setup to mount that sub that way so that the sound is going to channel perfectly into that driver's compartment. But at the end of the day, this is what it's about. It's about not leaving any stone unturned. You do under the engine, you did some stuff to the interior, and we did some stuff to the back. But you know what? Just like every other review, we do have to wrap this one up. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. All right, guys, it's been one wonderful day. Definitely got to give a huge thank you and a shout out to both Anthony and his father, Michael, for bringing out their C5 creation. You know, it came from such a terrible situation, but you know what? It wound up turning out to be such a great, happy situation, and it continues to be great because now that the car is built, it's not like they go their separate ways. They get to enjoy the car, take it to shows, go on drives, come be on Rady's Rides, all those types of things. So if this is the type of stuff you like to see on Rady's Rides, these heartwarming stories about how the passion helps connect people, helps keep people alive, leave a comment in that comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you. Thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. Check out all my different forms of social media. You know what they are, and it's all original Rady's Rides content. If you want some merch, click the link in the description. It takes you right to Spreadshirt. We got to give it up to the man of the hour. He filmed 5 cars today. Yes, 5 cars. So Tom's actually skipping the gym and got his workout in all together with these cars. So thank you, Tom, for all your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.